Well, it's another head-to-head, Lee. So many releases coming out onto the market right now, early part of the year. We've got the MIZUNO ST230, and we're putting it up against...
So I'm bringing the PING G430. Now, this is the max, that's the Z, that's not the point. If you've followed these on, you'll see that we've got kind of like, not a table, but we've got the pinnacle of ball speed happen so far, which was the Stealth. And if you've not seen that video, click up here and watch our Stealth versus Stealth 2.
But we've also done a review of the PING G430, and we've done a review of the MIZUNO ST230, but we thought we'd put them as a head-to-head against each other. See how they're going to perform ultimately. What do you want from a driver? Ultimately, you want accuracy, but everybody talks about distance. The manufacturers talk about ball speed. Well, we're going to put the test today of ball speed, aren't we?
Yep, we're going to see which one of these two gives us the best ball speed.
Yep.
I'm going to set them at 8.5 and 8.
Yeah.
And you're going to set them at 7 for both.
For both, yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll do the numbers from there.
Yeah, and the reason why we're doing that was trying to get as best fitting as we possibly can to get the best out of these drivers for us. So let's go, Lee. Let's hit some balls. You go first.
Come on, Ping.
And see how we get on.
So I'm going to start with the PING G430, and this is a driver that I'm arguably thinking about replacing my G425 with, because if you've seen the showdown that we did between the two, if you've not, it will be linked up here, you'll see that I have seen big improvements in both distance and dispersion with this driver. So as a driver to look at, I think it looks phenomenal. I think PING have upped their game when it comes to looks. It definitely appeals now more to the mass market. And with those turbulators and the framework on the top, I don't think a driver can possibly look much better. Like I said, you know, these looks at the bottom, the looks all around this club are fantastic. But one thing PING is renowned for is sound, and it's not always for a good reason. Now, I love the sound of the G425, but some people think it sounds horrendous. So with the G430, they've made a massive improvement in the sound. So for someone like me who likes it loud, it's still up there with like noisy, but it's not so tonky, like it's not so in your face loud like the G425 was. And for someone who loved the G425, I was really surprised that I thought this sounded better. Now let's talk STZ. Now MIZUNO for me, when we've done a previous test on the previous models, have always been one where I've gone, I need more ball speed out of you, please just give me something. So let's hope the STZ is an up from what has previously been given by MIZUNO. And looks down at the ball, it just looks like the old MIZUNOs from what I can remember. It's got a thick top line, which looks a bit like a TaylorMade, and then goes into the carbon crown at the back. So looks wise, just the same old for me when it comes to MIZUNO. Nothing that sort of attracts me to it. But it's on the bottom for me where MIZUNO have upped their game a little bit. Shelf appeal wise, I think this looks fantastic. I think this kind of like see-through luminous blue part here where they've got this core tech chamber, speed pocket to old terms. I think it looks fantastic. Sound-wise, I'm just expecting a nice titanium ting off the face with that little bit of thuddiness you get from the carbon. Something you get with pretty much every driver in this sector.
For me, MIZUNO, it just oozes class. I love looking at MIZUNO drivers. However, what Lee has said is kind of right. You know, we're always kind of looking for that max ball speed out of drivers, and MIZUNO in the past probably haven't given us everything that we want from it, even though looks-wise, it doesn't really get much better than that. And what Lee's saying about like shop appeal and things like that, again, I think it's classy looking down at the bottom, but it doesn't pop at you. Like if I saw that on the shelf, but I also saw this PING on the shelf, my eyes are probably going to be drawn maybe more towards the PING just because it just has a little bit of extra sort of jazz and colour in it. But then when you look down at the MIZUNO, again, you think about their blades, you think about a lot of their irons that they've released onto the market. You know, they're classy looking blades, aren't they? They're beautiful looking clubs. I think when you look down at this driver, you're getting, again, a very, very similar kind of look to that. Beautiful look, moving in from sort of that black finish, glossy finish into a carbon look. Very, very similar to the old Cobra F8 driver. That's what I kind of see there. Like I've got M2 TaylorMade kind of looking like at the front here. Maybe it's black rather than white, but definitely seeing of cobra in that carbon there. But when this club sits down by the ball, again, absolutely superb, sets it up nicely. I can see why Lee hits it quite well, actually. And if you saw the review from the G430 that we did, I thought this was the best driver ping I've ever brought out. I can't say that about the Mizuno at this stage, but I do think that the G430 for ping, this is as good as it gets. I love the kind of look on top. I think that framing as you set up to the golf ball with those turbulators on top, it just sort of blends really quite nicely. And then, like I said before earlier, the shop appeal with the colouring and everything from there as it sits on the shelf is just gonna appeal to so many golfers out there. People are gonna want to pick this club up. Whereas previously in the G425, it was kind of like, it was like watching a black and white screen. It was kind of really black and silvery. It was a bit, almost like a bit dull, really. But I'm expecting good numbers from this G430. I got some good numbers in the testing that we did with it, so I'm expecting some good numbers today. Which one do I think? I think the Ping should have the Mizuno on ball speed.
So quick tech talk about both. Well, I won't go into too much detail. If you do want to know more about the tech, check out our reviews of these products. But if we start with the PING G430, obviously we've got the retractable weight at the back, and that's able to put it into a draw and fade bias depending on your shot shape or if you need to calm something down. We do have the forged face, we've got the turbulators on the top, and we've also got the adjustable hosel, which you can up and down sort of 1.5 to 2 degrees like most drivers do. All in all, a really good and advanced driver. Moving into the Mizuno driver, the STZ, first thing is this Cortec chamber. This is a speed pocket. This is designed in order to give you better ball speed on lower strikes on the face. You've got a B titanium face, carbon crown, carbon underneath, and you've also got this slight weight at the back, which is just going to aid that MOI. And like every driver, you do have this adjustable hosel, which you can up and down the loft to your desired loft, and so it's fitted for you. So let's talk numbers, and I'm going to start with the PING G430. Average ball speed 155.3, pretty low as an average, but I can get that 158, and about 160 is where my average would be for a normal driver, or what I would expect. Best carry 277, and as a spin on average 2000, a little bit low, but there is one in there at 1411, so that's knocked it back down. But if you look at the top two, which were pretty much where an average strike for me would be, or an average good shot, it's 24, 2000, and then 270, 277 as a yardage. So all in all, not too bad. Now we're going to the Mizuno, and this was a massive shock for me because, like I said previously, ball speed with Mizuno, I've always cried for more. Average ball speed 162, that's 7 miles an hour more than an average I got with the Ping. And the best out there at 164.4, that's really, really good. That's now up there towards where I was getting with the Stealth 2. Average spin 2.9, a little bit too high in the spin, but average carry 274. Best being a 288, which is, you know, it's just superb numbers. I was really, really impressed. Following Dan, who put it into a 7, I said I want to give it another go because we tested the Stealth at a 7. I wanted to see if I could get anywhere near that 166 ball speed I got with the Stealth. Well, there it is. I hit 3 shots, 162.1, 165.2 and 165.5. With a carry of 291 yards. I said, is anything going to keep up with Stealth? That Mizuno is there.
Well, that is interesting because, I'll be honest, with all the clubs that I've been testing recently, nothing's come anywhere near the Stealth. So for Lee to get it somewhere close to that Stealth 2 driver, I'm impressed with that from the Mizuno. However, my Mizuno numbers, if we look at the average ball speed off the face, I got 153. If you compare that to my Ping, I've got 153.9, so I'm gaining a little bit more out of that Ping than I am the Mizuno. If we then go to spin, pretty much the same really. 2,571 on an average in the revs with the Ping compared to 2.6 in the Mizuno, so not a lot in it. And then look at that, average carry, 260 compared to 260. But best to best ball speed, I've got a 154.8 out of the Mizuno and I've got a 155.3 out of the PING. So the PING has it when it comes to average, but it also has it when it comes best to best. And if we look at the carry, 268 out of the Mizuno, and I've got a 273 out of the PING. So I'm not getting that Mizuno to go anywhere near what I'm getting out of a Stealth model previous testing that I've done. But all in all, the G430 is beating the Mizuno for this one. Well, it's interesting because we started with that way round, and now we've ended up this way round.
The interesting thing is after we did the test with that against the 425, I was buying it. Said it in the video.
Yeah,
buy it now. This has really, really shocked me in the fact that I wouldn't play the Stealth because I think it's too erratic.
Okay.
But what I loved about this is it can, if you need to get after one, I can get after one. But when we were doing just the talking and a normal shot, it's accurate at the same time.
You hit the fairway.
Twice. I mean, that's
which
unheard
is
of.
back to back, which is great. Last time you did that was at Vokey Castle at the Scramble thing.
So I think if I was now, after doing this test, going to buy one, I'd buy that over that.
Interesting. Shop appeal wise though, I think probably, like we've both probably said, the PING probably has it over that one.
Yeah.
But I love this driver. I think this, like I said at the beginning of this video and what I've said in the review, I think PING, this is their best one they've ever made. Sound wise, looks wise, I think there's a lot going on. There's a lot of positives to come out of this driver. Tech wise, there's a lot in it as well. And you know, all in all, it does perform well, and I think it's going to sell extremely well.
I think over a year, I'd probably enjoy playing that more than this.
Okay.
If you know, because of the looks and the sound and things like that. But performance-wise, from today, if this was a fit-in, what can I get? What can I max potential get out of, and what can I be accurate with? I'd have to pick this over that, and it pains me.
Well, what's great about these two models as we got here is that there's a massive cult following with PING, and there's a massive cult following with Mizuno, isn't there? You know,
100%.
People that generally buy into PING or Mizuno, they kind of stick with the brand.
Yeah.
And they really buy into the brand. So I think there's a lot of you out there watching this video that are massive supporters of PING, and lots of you out there that are massive supporters of Mizuno. But I'd like to hear down in the comments, would you be testing either of these drivers? Have you been and tested any of these drivers? I'd like to put it down there as to how you got on with them as well.
100%.
Well, I think that's it, Lee.
I'm going to take this out.
It's what's great about this one is we're kind of split.
We are split, and it's nice to see Mizuno have answered what we asked for me anyway. Yeah. Give me some ball speed. Well, they've done it. They've
absolutely done it. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel and you like what you're seeing, please consider subscribing to this channel. It would really, really help us. And we'll see everyone again on the next video.